Hi, my name is Leah Adams, and I'm a systems engineer at ColePak. We work primarily in the packaging industry, specifically with interior packaging, and so that's kind of where we're using DriveWorks is to generate those things. So that's where we're at. When we began our automation journey, we were primarily looking for a better way to generate our product specs, our product drawings. And prior to using DriveWorks or even SolidWorks, we had used a graphic design program, it worked well for the time that we used it, but obviously wasn't ideal for what we were trying to do. So a lot of the limitations with that primarily involved things like we could only do line drawings. It was a one-off process. There was no real ability to do a 3D drawing at all. Additionally, it took quite a bit of time and you needed expertise in that program to know how to do it. So we were really just looking for a better way to go about creating our product drawings. So that actually propelled us into using SolidWorks design tables. And those worked well for what we were trying to do, but there are some pretty significant limitations just based on we were trying to do things that really weren't what those design tables were intended for. And so the solution was not as elegant or as all-encompassing, I guess you could say, as we were hoping it to be. So that caused a lot of errors, some frustrations, and it also required our employees to have at least a working knowledge of SolidWorks, which is a fairly bulky program. It can take some time to really get into and learn. So we really just needed something that was going to be more user-friendly. It was going to be a quick process that produced consistent results that had better, that were to scale. The drawings needed to be to scale, and we were looking for 3D views, all of which were things that we weren't able to do previously. Yeah, so if I had to encourage someone about the best way to succeed after a failure, I would just remind them that every design process, or process in general really, is iterative. So you're gonna have to fail to be able to succeed. And it's gonna look like trying something, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but odds are that there's gonna be deficiencies and opportunities for improving. And so those things really can't be viewed as failure because they're just stepping stones to getting where you need to be. For example, the SolidWorks design tables that we were using, those certainly could have been considered a failed attempt, but really it was actually when discussing how we were using those that we found DriveWorks, and that led us to an opportunity for success that I really didn't even think was going to be possible, short of designing our own program, which was not really in the realm of possibilities. So yeah, I would just say that it's going to be something that failing is going to hopefully eventually lead you to being able to succeed, and it's going to point you towards opportunities where you can do better and you can improve. So if you look at them in that light and look at them as something that's necessary but good, it can help you work through those better. When we started our automation journey, we were looking for a way to more quickly create our product drawings. And as I kind of described earlier, they were in general not to scale. They were just reference drawings, which could cause some confusion out on the production floor. Additionally, they weren't able to do 3D models. And in general, we were just looking for a process that was more quick and efficient and streamlined. As we've seen DriveWorks and its capabilities, our dreams and goals have definitely broadened as we've seen what it can do. So we are now looking to incorporate it into almost nearly every part of our company. And we're hoping to be able to streamline processes in general with a centralized system for data and be able to use it in multifaceted ways. And so that's kind of where we're looking to go and where we started. fears when I started our journey was, I mean, it may sound cliche, but just fearing failure in general. So my background is not in really any of the programs or languages that go into this. It was pretty much limited to about half a credit of SolidWorks training. And other than that, though, it's all been stuff that I've learned since. And so I would say that kind of caused me to fear that I wouldn't be able to fully use DriveWorks capabilities and create a product that was going to be helpful to my company. So I wanted to be able to use it in the best way possible, and I didn't want it to be some haphazard attempt or the limitations on my knowledge and experience to cause a result that was something less than what it could be, I guess you could say. So I really just feared not maximizing the opportunity that I knew was here. But that kind of goes back to just remembering that it is a process and we're continually working on improving. So yeah, that would probably be the primary fear that I had coming into this process. If I were to say something to someone just getting started, I would remind them again that this is something that's going to take a lot of work. And although it can be really intimidating to look at everything that can be done and all of the opportunities, it can be a little overwhelming looking at all of that. I would just remind them that those are actually really good things, and that there's also a whole plethora of opportunity to get help from other people. The DriveWorks help pages are great. The webinars are great. The tech support here at Inflow is wonderful. And so if you are afraid of getting started or of where to go once you do get started, remember that there are a lot of resources available to you that can help you learn the best way to go about things and how to structure your project. And so, yeah, I would say that really leaning into those resources helps you to be successful, maybe even beyond what you were thinking initially. So, yeah. Our automation journey began with DriveWorks Express. So after we heard about the program, we tested it out with the little add-in that's provided with all SolidWorks licenses. And it did not take us very long at all to find out that we really did want to use this program, and we saw a lot of potential with it with our company. So we got the administrator module, and then after working with that for a while, we primarily focused on creating the SolidWorks models that would go alongside that and the user forms. And then once we were ready to deploy that project to the rest of our company, or at least individual departments as it was ready, we went ahead and got the DriveWorks Live and Autopilot, and that has been wonderful. So we're really excited being able to see people use those things. In general, as we've been thinking through how to structure the project and things like that, we have tried to work from the simplest problems to the more complex ones. And in general, we've been trying to keep in mind the whole goal of a project. So that way the work that we use up front is able to be incorporated well as we keep moving along and implementing it further and further and incorporating it further and further in our company. CATI has been great in helping us with our goals. So it's obviously been a great resource for tech support as we've encountered various issues, as you do, whether those are something particular to DriveWorks or more frequently, they're just user errors as I'm learning how to use it. They've been able to resolve every issue we've come across. They're really good about seeing you through to a solution. But probably what I've been even more impressed by is just how helpful they are in strategizing the project overall. I was a little intimidated to ask for help in that area from the beginning, but I've had a great response, and they do a great job of balancing help, offering you help and suggestions, while also giving you creative freedom as the user to allow it to really be your project. So whether it's something where you're wondering, hey, how can I do this? Or what is the best way to do this? Or if you've just hit an issue that's like full stop, like we can't continue on until we figure this out. They've just done a great job of helping me in every area that I felt like I need it. They're quick to respond, and they really just help me see through the issue to a solution. So the difficulties we've experienced, some have been just your standard, we don't know how to do this, or we're trying to do this and it's not working. And for example, one of those instances was we had like our SolidWorks drawing, once it was generated by DriveWorks, wouldn't properly reference a file. So in that, I approached CATI, and they helped me restructure the project a little bit in order to be able to provide a solution for that. And we've not had an issue since. So when it comes to those kind of just technical difficulties, we've really leaned into the help pages, the webinars, the tech support, and things like that. More broadly, probably one of the biggest challenges is because we're planning on implementing this in such a widespread way, it's been difficult to determine, when is it ready to be pushed to this department, or when do we need to wait and perfect it a little more. And additionally, as we try and think about small little things, we also have to keep in mind the bigger things and how those are going to affect the entire process. So that's just looked like a lot of conversations with my coworkers, and they've been very helpful to say, hey, have you thought about this, or have you thought about that? And in general, just helping me strategize through those things. I've got a great team here, and I know that I can lean on a great team with CATI, and so that's really how we've worked through those difficulties so far. So. Our automation dreams have already come true in really great ways. I was actually just speaking with a coworker a couple of weeks ago, and she is on our customer service team, and she mentioned that she had noticed a considerable decrease in time that it takes for them to receive the customer product drawings. And that was pretty incredible to me, because that's the first area that we have implemented DriveWorks. It's the first place that we've really started to use it and replace our old methods. In addition to using DriveWorks, we've actually been able to shuffle personnel from that department to other areas in the company, and we've actually seen a very significant increase in product drawings that need to be made, as our company's seen quite a bit of growth and busyness in the past couple months. So the demand for needing to be able to do those things has increased, and we've actually needed fewer people to be able to meet that, and it's been done more quickly, which I think is just the model of what you're trying to do with DriveWorks. So we've been really excited to be able to see the benefits of automation in our company, and I would say that that's been the primary area that we've seen success so far. And as we look forward, we're anticipating that we'll see very similar levels of success as we are able to incorporate this in other areas of our company as well. From here, we would like to incorporate DriveWorks in other areas and departments of our company. So first step is going to be looking at our customer service team, because DriveWorks creates such a user-friendly interface with what is otherwise kind of a complex process of generating the product drawings. We actually anticipate being able to see them, enter a customer quote, and then that be able to create our spec, and then also DXFs if we need to create samples, and really being able to make that a one-stop process with them. And then that frees up our design lab to be doing things as well. And then beyond customer service department, we also want to look at going to the production floor and digitizing everything, which is really going to be a lot simpler because we have the ability to more quickly edit the product drawings. And we anticipate that as we go digital, we're going to be able to communicate more information to our production team that's going to be able to help create clear products and standardized processes. Beyond that, probably one of our biggest goals is using DriveWorks and SQL to create a more centralized system. So right now, information and data has to be entered in over and over again as it goes from one department to the next, because everything's being entered in separate files. So scheduling, shipping, everything like that. And so we're hoping that if we're able to use DriveWorks as sort of the front end of our database, we're going to be able to also centralize where all that information is going through. So once you enter it once, it only needs to be entered then, and then it's going to be able to be used by every other department within our company. And so that's going to obviously streamline the process, limit user error. And yeah, so those are kind of the areas that we're looking to move forward. But as we see what we can do and we think more clearly through the possibilities, I expect that that'll probably expand. Thank you. This has been great. We're really excited about DriveWorks and great to be working with you guys.